So I did my infographic on information relating to online video streaming users. So that's, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Hulu, all of the big streaming giants that have kind of taken over cable TV in the recent years. So this is kind of the general look of the infographic. I have some different data up here that I'll go through in a minute. But overall, I kind of wanted a simplistic color scheme, something that's appealing to the eye but not overbearing. So yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and start right here. So this is the number of worldwide online streaming users worldwide. Um, we've got kind of some interesting data here that shows that in the recent years, or in this year specifically, and through to 2022, you kind of have a little bit of a linear look while it looks to plateau a little bit in the coming years, which I thought was pretty interesting as more people switch from cable to online streaming. Um, it just makes it a very interesting look. But again, this is worldwide, so not just in the US. This next graphic shows that 3.6 out of 25 people in the world have an online streaming service. So it's not that they have access to it, but they actually have it. And it's pretty interesting because when you think about that, it's about 14% of the world population has a streaming service, which is quite a significant amount. Um, this kind of goes back up to here where you've got over a billion people, you know, by this, I guess, last year that have a streaming service in the world. So this number will obviously grow, but I just kind of wanted to depict it in an easy look at, simple way. This next graphic, the top five streaming services by subscribers. So I have a pie chart to sort of depict that. Pretty interesting because, as you can see, Netflix has a significant chunk of the US subscriber base. While Apple TV, while it's relatively new, also has a pretty significant chunk, more than a third um, of that of the whole. Hulu, oh, I'm sorry, that's Amazon Prime, has a pretty good chunk. Of course, these are just kind of in relation to each other. They're not in relation to all of them. This is just the top five. So it just kind of shows these guys in reference to each other. With Disney Plus being relatively new, that's also pretty incredible. Um, in terms of 23 million people have it. Um, this next graphic shows the percentage of internet users worldwide. The reason I wanted to include this is because obviously, as we go through the years, more and more people in the world are having more access to the internet, which will help kind of boost online streaming more so than cable and satellite TV. Basically, subscription television as we know it. Kind of I guess we'll pause on that. Kind of the whole idea is to show how online video streaming and, movie streaming kind of is overtaking the subscription based TV market, especially in the US. But this is kind of to show this just a huge jump in internet users worldwide from 34 percent of the world to now 49% of the world in 2017, from 2012 to 2017. That's a huge jump. Even from here to here, that's 5% in a year is huge. So obviously with this number rising, or this percentage rising, you'll start to see this rise as well. Because as you get more people access to the internet, these companies are going to want to come in and capitalize on that market of people who have not had access to the internet and now do, and for relatively a relatively good cost. If you don't have all of them, of course, if you have one or the other. And then this last graphic is just kind of drawing attention to the fact that 74% of the US uses a video streaming service, which is huge when you think of how quickly streaming really overtook the market. Obviously, most of the US has access to internet, so this kind of information doesn't really apply here. But when you look at people switching from cable and DirecTV and Dish Network going to this online streaming platform, especially with major companies and broadcast companies putting more content into this platform, you have more of a switch. And new companies are coming into the game. That's why I wanted to put that there, because a lot of the big broadcast networks and big cable networks are completely switching it, well, not completely, but making the move to online uh, content versus paid subscription cable TV. So that's kind of the idea of this. Overall, I think it turned out pretty well and ultimately shows the data that I want shown. And I think that it looks pretty clean. Obviously, my design doesn't necessarily appeal to everybody, I'm sure, but this is kind of what I'm thinking for our project. Let me know what you think. Thank you.